faster, healthier, better.
Hey, Ricky, I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries, no worries. Okay, so predominantly we choose our guest favorite beverage. You said you like Rain.
Yeah, I love it. Drink it every day almost. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So I got 3 flavors. So you will pick your...
Definitely orange creamsicle.
Yes, that's the best
that's
one.
That's my favorite one so far.
Okay, and then I will take... Which one do you want? Okay, I will give you this one. All right, my man. I've never actually tried the white gummy bear. Have you tried it?
It's not bad, yeah.
It's not bad?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I don't know, that's like a big thing. Like
it's huge right now.
Yeah, is it?
It's like I think for them what the marketing team feel like that's like one of the most like widely liked ones. Yeah.
Okay. So, cheers, man.
Cheers. Thanks for having me again.
No worries. Oh, that's nice. That's good. That's nice. I've been loving these are really good. I love Reigns, but I've been loving 3Ds. 3Ds and Ghost Energy.
I haven't tried the Ghost one.
You haven't tried any Ghost?
No.
Oh man, Ghost is so good.
Honestly though, like any of them, if you just go to States and buy, they're so much better.
And
the formulations are different.
Yeah, and cheaper.
Yeah.
Too. It's a lot cheaper.
There's this that Bang energy drink. They have this one that's like a chocolate flavor one.
I tried it.
It's actually really good, right?
It's weird. I feel really gross drinking it.
Really? Yeah. I think the idea of it for me, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But when I had it, I'm like, this is actually pretty good.
It's not that bad. Yeah. It's like chocolate something.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what it was either. Yeah. It's chocolate something.
Yeah. Okay. So you're the owner of the prep shop.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so your original place was in Markham?
That's right. Yeah. Right. We were there for about 6 years, and then we recently moved to Aurora about 3 months ago.
Okay. Yeah. So for the guests at home, what is the prep shop?
So we're a meal prepping company.
Okay.
We do fully customizable meals. Everything's cooked in a healthy manner and portioned out as well. Mm-hmm. We cook everything in-house, and then everything is also packaged in a partial vacuum sealed tray. So we do guarantee freshness for a minimum up to 1 week. Mm-hmm. And some of our meals are almost up to 2 weeks worth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What meals are those ones?
So what we call our everyday meals.
Okay.
They're the only difference in terms of like why the shelf life is longer is because those ones don't have green vegetables in it.
Okay.
So the green vegetables tend to just turn color a lot faster. So once we omitted that part of it, then we can have the shelf life tends to get a little bit longer, and those are the meals we typically would sell in gyms.
Okay.
Yeah, in other places. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So like, how did this start? How did like?
Yeah.
How did you want to? Did you always know like, okay, I think I want to start like was that also your first business?
It is my first business.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was, I guess I have to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was a personal trainer and the assistant manager at Good Life.
Okay.
And then that's where I met my now current business partner as well. Mm-hmm. We've met when we were about 24, 25. And then they were going to promote me and give me a brand new club that they were opening up for Good Life. Mm-hmm. And I took that position, but then I soon realized like, if I take that job, I want to be there forever. Like nothing bad about working at Good Life. I learned a lot at being at Good Life, but I don't see myself being a fitness manager there for like the foreseeable future.
Yeah, you know that next step, it's like it's a big one, but it could be a permanent one. Right? Yeah, you have to stay there.
Exactly, it's going to anchor me down.
Exactly, right? And you're just like, especially how old are you when you were supposed to make that decision?
25.
25. So that's like, you know, you got to make some big moves coming out in the next bit of your life, your first quarter, right? So,
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So at that point, my now ex-wife, then she competes. So to me, competing and bodybuilding was very new to me at that point. Mm-hmm. But she, because of her, I was able to get in and learn all that from her. And working at Good Life, having a meal prep and like grocery shop and cook and all that stuff, it was fun in the beginning. Then it just wasn't fun anymore. You know, when you do it for months on end.
Yeah.
And then there was this one night where, you know, when you cook your food, you gotta cool it. And then you gotta wait, and then you need to put it in the fridge, right? Mm-hmm. That one night, it was a late night, and I remember setting an alarm for like, okay, it's gonna cool down in like an hour and a half. It's 2 a.m. Set an alarm for 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
To have to like go downstairs, put the food back in the refrigerator. After that, I'm like, okay, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we started looking for meal prep companies.
Okay.
And there wasn't a place where we could get exactly what we wanted. And it relatively, like, there were places where you could, but it didn't taste the greatest. And places that taste a little bit better, I couldn't get the exact macros that I want. I couldn't get the exact same amount of meals that I wanted. Because back in the day, it was a lot of plans that people were selling. They were either you get a dozen, you get 2 dozen. It wasn't like I just want 4 meals and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. So then after they were promoting me for Good Life, and then me deciding like I need to do something else, that kind of all organically happened. And that's when I realized, okay, if I needed to solve this problem, I'm sure everyone else needs to solve this problem.
That's a good entrepreneur mindset to have.
Yeah. Because and plus then now it turns into almost everything I do now in terms of business wise. It's just things I actually need that is not really quite out there.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, from that point on, I recruited my business partner now, Thomas. My main chef, Tom, as well. He's a high school friend of mine, and then 2 years later, we just started the business. Yeah.
Okay, so when you guys sat down together and like talked about it, like, okay, because there are like other meal prep places, right? I find though there's more in the States than in Canada. Is that
There's
true?
a lot more, yeah.
Right, because I know in the States there's like Icon meals or something like that.
Icon, there's I think like mega meals or
something like that. Yeah. So I always was kind of like dumbfounded too because when I remember when I started buying from your guys' place like a long time ago, I was like, yeah, there's not much like here. Like it's interesting because you're like, there's a niche for it.
Yeah.
Why isn't anybody doing it?
So
right?
the reason why, well, what I think the reason why is demographic here is a little bit like sparse. It's not as dense of population.
Are you talking about like a fitness, health-wise?
Just in general.
In general, okay.
Right? And just population density is not there.
Okay.
Like it is in the States. And also our shipping methods here, like in terms of like Canada Pure Later, they're just not, the infrastructure is not there.
No, you're definitely right.
So
there.
for us to do overnight shipping, the cost is really high.
Yes, it's almost not worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've checked even for our average package, let's say like 10, 12 meals with the weight and the weights package to just ship to Northern Ontario could range from like $60 to $90. So at that point, like, why would you pay almost the same amount of food costs for delivery for food? You're paying double.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense. We've had people who say, we'll just pay for it. And like I haven't done it yet, but also like don't feel right doing that. Yeah,
because it's like, but they're grown adults.
Yes, that's
but
true.
if I hear you, you're trying to have integrity with it. Like, you don't really like.
Yeah, and then the one-off I don't really care to do, but to have that set up as like part of our business, I just can't swallow that to be like, you gotta pay $90 for shipping. For food, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It doesn't really fit in our model, like how we want it.
Yeah.
So hopefully down the road, it's like negotiating prices with Pure Later or
figuring something out.
Yeah, now that because our business is big enough that we have the numbers to back it up, hopefully I could get in a little bit more of a
even if you could figure something out with like Amazon.
Yeah, that beast I don't know how to deal with at all. I gotta learn that altogether. Yeah.
So, I don't know. You seem like a smart guy. So
yeah. So if any guests, you guys need to have any information, they just send it my way.
There you go.
Great. Yeah.
So Prep Shop, pretty simple name. You guys just went straight forward with that, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So you're like, okay, Prep Shop, and then did it take a long time for you guys to do the design? Did you have somebody help you with the design?
So one of my friend from high school, his name is Eric. Mighty Designs. He's amazing. He does
Mighty Designs.
Yeah.
Does he have an Instagram?
He does.
Okay, we'll put Mighty Designs.
Yeah, I think it's or just Mighty. I'm not.
Let me know. We'll find it. We'll find it.
Yeah, he's amazing. So I got him to help us with our logo right away, our website and everything. So, and the feedback on it's always been people see our logo. It's really well put together.
It's clean. It's very clean.
So everyone's always thinking like, oh, are you guys a franchise? Even when we first started, like, oh, that's nice. Yeah. But no,
like, oh, thank you.
Flattered. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, no, it's very. I feel like with names too, with business in general, a lot of people try to overthink and try to make like some like crazy creative name, and sometimes you just need to be straightforward.
That's right.
Like a nice clean design, and it pops a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you guys like nailed that right there.
Yeah. So for like the name, figuring out the name, I didn't want something that was like very obviously fitness. Even though what I wanted to do was tackle the fitness like population and want to make sure that we do that really well. But I don't want my brand to be very narrow to the point where like some people think like, oh, like it's not for me, right? That's why when I came out with the name Prep Shop, it was like really well-rounded. It's
you guys prep food.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. We help prepare things for you, right? And the vision back then was like, I wanted this to be not just food, in different aspects of fitness as well. So it was really just the one-stop shop for all your fitness needs, right? Like we prepare everything for you. You just come in, grab your stuff. Now all you got to do is go work out. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's really good. So you guys came together. Did you guys knew like where you wanted to open up that shop right away? The first one?
Well, so myself, Thomas, and Evelyn, my wife then, we were in the Markham area, so we were trainers and we knew a lot of people that around that area. So
that's where you guys networked. And stuff like that.
Exactly. And I grew up around the area too and knew that demographic quite well. So we just felt like a little bit home court advantage when we're there.
Okay.
Yeah. The funny thing too now, it turns out a lot of our regular customers who will come in for walk-ins to buy food, they actually live up here.
Well, yeah, like so Aurora, like I remember when you guys opened up and like I was buying from there, I was telling all my clients and everybody,
awesome. And
they're like, yeah, like, and then over time, like I knew so many other people from Aurora just keep on going there. So I mean, kudos to you. That's how good your food and everything is, so that they drive over there.
Thank you. Yeah.
So opening that up, like obviously you're a first time business owner. Like what were the little bit trials and tribulations that you went through that you had to learn?
Yeah. Well, we had to learn everything.
Yeah.
Just because like
sorry. So all three of you had to learn? Like this is the first business for all you guys?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Like on hindsight, it was, at that point, it was like, we put everything in. It was like do or die.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Like, and then maybe like on hindsight, thinking about it now, it's like,
you're like, maybe I should have went a little bit back.
Maybe we're a little bit too stupid to realize what the risk was.
Yeah.
But like, we put all our money in. Like I was living off my credit card for like a good few months, just waiting for like stupid things on the permits to pass so we can like get going.
Yeah, permits.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had like delays on very dumb things that were like
what? Like what?
So it was like the longest one we had to wait for was the furnace that was put in already by our landlord was missing a cap. And that cap on over a vent must be there, and it needs to be like from that particular brand. So we waited almost like 3 months for it. Everything was ready.
3 months, and like, were you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but were you paying rent in that 3 months?
At a certain point, yeah. So we got a grace period.
That's usually what happens. The landlord usually is like, okay, we'll give you first 3 months or something for grace period to get your feet rolling. But sometimes with permits and stuff like that, it can take longer than usual. Yeah. And like, I mean, let's be honest, they go on their own time.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And they ask you to do something really quickly. But when you ask for them, they're like, oh, we'll get back to you soon.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
And then making appointments with them are like challenging too.
Yeah.
So it was literally just a little cap that went over a vent.
Yeah.
On the furnace.
Yeah.
So because of that, we had to wait. So that was no fun. Just like little like things like that. And also because as a meal prep company at that time, there was maybe like six of us all together. There wasn't that many at all. Like in terms of like an actual company, not someone who like cooks from home, right? Yeah, there were a lot of little ones, but like actual.
You mean more like brick and mortar, like an actual.
Exactly, an actual like facility, right? So we couldn't model off of like operations in terms of like a regular restaurant. We had to really come up with a lot of things how to do it ourselves. So for example, in a regular restaurant, you would receive your order, you cook it, and then you service right away, expo and bring the customer, right? But for us, we gotta take the order in, we gotta cook it, wait till it cools, and then package everything, weigh everything out, and then package, and then goes to customer. So in terms of labor and operation, there's the 2 extra steps of cooling and packaging. Like we had to really figure out our flow of the kitchen differently, and just how we took in orders and what it translates to in terms of like bulk ordering and stuff like that too.
Oh wow!
So there's we kind of made up everything we had to do. Yeah.
That's all right. And now you guys have like a great system.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And how long would you say it took for you to find out that like your system, like couple of months, 2 months?
Oh yeah, well, like years.
Oh yeah.
Years. So in the first little bit, maybe when we're like 3 years in, we're operating quite well. And then I don't know if you guys know, like Wallace, he's the 6-pack chef. So he recently just broke like the Guinness World Book of Record for like chopping vegetables or something like that.
Like
for like quickly. Yeah.
Right.
For like,
okay.
yeah. For like under a minute or something like that.
Okay.
So he's a bodybuilder as well. And then we became good friends.
Okay.
So I asked him like, hey, come on in, like work for me for me a little bit and show me like what I need to improve on. So he actually came in, we did a whole layout of the kitchen, our flow, introduced a few meals. So within a short amount of time, we were able to actually like optimize our business quite quickly in terms of operation standpoint.
Okay.
He was able to come in and help us a lot with that side. So even now, like moving to a new space, even though it's scaled up, the model is still modeled back to what we have set up together at that point.
Okay.
So I guess in terms of like being as efficient as we can be, took us about like 4 years to put together. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How did you guys decide like your meals? Like in a sense of like we need a chicken, we need a steak.
Okay. So
like
in terms of the design process.
In design process, yeah.
So the first little bit, we didn't want to tackle too much. We didn't want to bite off more than we can chew. So in the beginning, we just did very bodybuilding like style. So we want to make sure, because in the end, like the bodybuilders are going to be the most difficult clienteles to deal with. Everyone else kind of trickles down to like your like lifestyle meals. Those are easy. So we made sure we only use our own blends, herbs, and spices. Okay. So no added calories into the seasoning. And how do we make sure we keep moisture and yield to be relatively the same in every single cook. So that's how much like detail we go into. I want to make sure that all the chicken breasts have the same type of moisture in it. It's not always going to be like one is too dry or one's too moist, because then if it's too moist, it weighs heavier. Then you're going to have less protein per like a 4 ounce. Yeah. Right. So we take in consideration of all these factors that no one really like thinks about, but I want it to be like perfect. So the bodybuilding stuff, we did that and perfected it within like maybe a year or two. So that's how we since like my partner then was a IFBB pro, I was able to like get a lot of like
feedback
and a lot of like pros was using us at that time too, and a lot of athletes. So from there once we were like, okay, I think we got this pretty perfect now. And like we haven't really changed much from 6 years ago from now, because it's just a solid way of doing it.
Yeah, it's a good way.
So and then we introduced what we call the everyday meals, and then so for that, that creating a recipe for that, it becomes a little bit more challenging, because we want to make sure the pairings are well put together. There aren't going to be foods that's going to like say decay faster than like certain ingredients that's going to decay faster than other ingredients. Because if you start pairing things together and one tends to go bad faster than the other, it just makes the whole dish turn. Yeah. Right.
Is there one dish that you tried so hard to make it work and you found it the most difficult?
So there's one dish that I really wanted to make it work and we couldn't.
Well, what was it?
It was one of our teriyaki fried rice. So we wanted to make our own teriyaki sauce. Okay. So our chef in the beginning was our chef Sap. He I think let's use pineapples with sweetened right? So we don't have to use we don't have to throw conventional, we don't have to throw sugar into it.
Yeah.
Let's use some fruits to sweeten, bring, and then maybe we'll add some monk fruit if we needed to. The teriyaki sauce was amazing.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. Okay.
But at the time, didn't think that the enzymes from the pineapple made things turn a little bit faster than everything.
Oh.
So it was a really good dish, but it didn't. So in our everyday meals, it has to pass through a two week shelf life.
Okay.
So because of the enzymes from the pineapple, it would go bad in like a week or so.
Okay, you
So,
can't have that.
Yeah. So we tried to remake a teriyaki sauce, and I liked it, but it wasn't like as good. So we kind of put that on hold. Yeah, we might revisit that later.
Yeah.
But that was actually a really good dish because we use a sirloin cubes in there too. So it was like a brown rice, fried rice with sirloin cubes.
That sounds good, man. I'm thinking about it right now. It sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite dishes for sure.
Yeah. So what's the process of like a sample? So when you think of a meal, what's the process of it? You guys make it, package it up, and then you wait to see if it turns, or like what's the process of that?
So we usually we model from like a regular dish. So for example, like our latest launch is like a lasagna. Okay, how do we what typically goes into the lasagna? Let's think about what we can deconstruct and take away to make it more macro friendly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So with the lasagna, what we'll have to do is we'll have to render out all the fats from all the ground meats, and then instead of layering all the different cheese, we actually tried that one as a vegetarian dish at first.
Okay.
So because we're using zucchinis and eggplants, but after about a week, it would actually secrete a lot of water. So
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Even though the dish was delicious, it didn't last the shelf life. It was still good, but it would just there'd be a pool of water by the end of it.
Yeah, which is aesthetically also doesn't look the nicest.
Exactly. So the lasagna actually, so for that, we have to make the dish, wait 2 weeks, and then review it, wait another 2 weeks. So the lasagna dish actually took us about like months to put together, right? Because of all these trial and error. And then also we have to consider some like feedback from our customers to what apparently for the vegetable lasagna, you couldn't just use a fork to cut it into it because it's a little bit fibrous, so it stays intact together. You have to use a knife and fork. Some of our customers didn't like that. So these are all these little things that you guys have to consider.
You guys look into. Okay, so what would you say is like the meal that like constantly gets bought? Yeah,
our braised beef and mashed potato.
Yeah?
Yeah, that one has always been one of our best seller at all times.
What I like about your guys' meals too is like let's see if I can explain this properly. Sometimes I see like right now on Instagram, like everything is just like a substitute for protein or whatever, and it's not healthier. It's just like different. And I find with you guys, okay, how can we make this, like you just said, macro, like more friendly, but still tastes really good?
Yeah.
Right. You guys still like care so much about taste.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate. Because even your chicken is really good. Like you said, like it's not too moist, not too dry. It's good. And like even your veggies and stuff like that, I find everything is just like, you try to make it healthy and macro friendly, but still like taste as good as possible, which is, you don't find that. It's hard to find, like, sometimes I find with meal prep companies, it's like, it's bland, you get what you get.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, so
I wish it was a little more.
Yeah. Which one was your favorite meal, by the way?
The steak.
Steak? Okay.
The steak.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
The steak, I could eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. Yeah. It's so good. I love steaks or whatever.
That's something we don't cut corners in ingredients.
Which I appreciate, yeah.
Yeah, and then we don't cut corners in terms of like the work that has to put into it, right? So even for the steak, like we don't have it. We don't pre-cut everything. Everything for steak wise is only to order, because once you pre-cut steak, like the heme changes, the texture changes. So there's all things that like it's not like chicken, where like chicken is relatively stable, right?
Yeah.
So with the steak, we get the full piece of the top sirloin, but we butcher out all the fat caps, make sure it's like as lean as we can make it, and then we grill it. So there's instead of like, I don't know if other companies does the same way, but if you get like a regular sirloin, and if it's pre-cut and you just grill it, all our fats get seeped into the meat, right? So that's how we like are able to control a lot of like factors in terms of how do we get like our macros as friendly as possible, as like to our audience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of spices do you guys like using? Like, do you guys like Flavor God or like?
No, we only use our own blends.
Your own blends.
Yeah.
That's
So I don't know them on top of my head.
Yeah, that's
but
fine. Yeah.
My chef's dip. We have our own blends of herb. We use herbs and spices, and they just put it together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So it even goes down to the spices that you guys are so detailed with.
Of course,
everything.
yeah.
Okay.
Like we of course we have the recipe book. So each, like for example, steak will have its own seasoning. Chicken will have its own seasoning, and then like all different poultries and everything's like measured out.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
so for the first year, how many meals did you guys have in the first year?
So it will just be our prep packs. We have like our chicken, steak, turkey, and tilapia prep packs.
The turkey was really good too. I don't know what spices you put on the turkey.
Yeah.
And the turkey and mashed. No, it was turkey and sweet potato.
Yeah, turkey, sweet potato.
What I don't know. It was like I think there was a little bit of cinnamon on that. I can't remember, but it was awesome.
Yeah, great.
So
I'm
good.
glad you liked it.
Yeah, it was really good.
The actually our sweet potato seasoning has changed the most.
Okay.
Because we get a lot of feedback. A lot of people don't like the cinnamon that we first.
Oh, I love it.
I know, I like it too. I like a lot of it too. But the feedback on it was, so our whole thing is we always try to make sure what we do is can approach all markets the best way, right? So we try not to do anything too one-sided or anything. Kind of, we don't want to land right in the middle of everything. Right? We want to insert ourselves into all the right places.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, I interrupted you, but you had the turkey. What meals did you have the first year?
Yeah. So it's the chicken prep pack, steak, turkey, and tilapia, and then we had salmon as well. So those are just the main proteins and carbs that we had,
meats, yeah.
and then we really heavily focus on being able to customize your meals. So we would always make sure, like if someone comes in, we always ask them, do you have a meal plan you follow? Can I build you your meal for you?
Wow.
Yeah. So that's another thing that I don't think a lot of meal prep places do.
No.
Because it's really high in labor, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by we really don't cut corners, but that's the service I want to be able to provide people. You can come in and you can actually get exactly what you want, which is the problem I had, right? If I want 6 ounces of chicken, I can, and like 4 ounce rice and a couple of vegetables, I want to be able to have that meal, right? So I always ask people like, let me know what your meal plan looks like, what your macros are like. I'll build the meals for you. So then there's no.
Is that you specifically who does that, or you like there's a team?
So in the beginning, it was just like me, my business partner Thomas, and my main chef Tom. So it's just the three of us. So we did everything.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
At that point.
Okay, but now you have a team.
Now we have a team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like a bigger team, I should say.
That's right. Yeah.
So you started with those meals, and then when did you guys decide, like, okay, we need to go into the everyday meals? When did you guys decide, okay, let's add a little extra 2 different meals or not prep packs? When did that happen?
It was like maybe 2 years in when I knew like we did the prep packs, like when we had that, I pat it down like solid and like that's like probably going to be unchanged. Then we start venturing into like other things.
Okay. Do you remember what you guys started with?
The braised beef and mashed potato, and then the our stuffed pepper as well.
Actually, yeah, your stuffed pepper is pretty good.
Yeah. So the funny thing is the stuffed pepper is actually my main chef Tom, his grandma's recipe.
Wow, and we just the family.
Yeah, because he's Greek.
Okay.
Right? And we just took away like I think like just the fats that was added in, and like it was just like a perfect meal. So it's been braised beef and the stuffed pepper has been the 2 longest standing recipe for our everyday meal. And actually, someone got mad at us when we took away the braised beef and mash.
Oh, it's gone?
No, well, there was a while we did. We're like, let's change it up.
You've been talking to me about it. Like, go get some braised and mash.
I was like, let's change it up a little bit. We'll take that out, add something else. And then like this guy called us. He's like, why did you take it away? Like,
I loved it.
Yeah, he's like, can you just make me batch? I'll buy like 30 of them at once.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, okay, well, like, I mean, you can buy 30 stuff, but I'll just bring it back anyways.
Yeah. That's too funny. So how many meals do you guys have in general right now?
So right now we have, for our everyday meals, we have about 20 of them.
Oh, wow.
Plus protein, so plus like two breakfast meals.
Okay.
And then our other side of the menu, which is our prep packs, which we have now 6 different prep packs. And then for that, you can fully customize too. So that, in terms of that menu, I guess the numbers of meals are endless, depends on what you want.
Yeah, but do you guys have like a cap? Like, okay, we're gonna have only, because if it's too, do you feel like if it's too much, you can't control like the foods and stuff like that? Do you have a limit in your guys' mind?
Variety wise, I think we could continuously add.
Okay.
But the only thing is that the quantity of meals that we make per batch relatively stays the same. We don't make massive amounts, just because that's how we lose control of quality, right? So it comes down to sometimes, for example, if we sell a lot of the stuffed peppers, we end up having to make them like three times a week, which we generally don't like doing. But if the demand is there,
then you'll do it. Yeah. Excuse me. You have the breakfast ones? Yeah. I haven't tried them. What are they?
Yeah. So we have our protein pancakes. Okay. And then we also have it's a new launch. It's our brick breakfast meal. So 2 eggs with turkey sausages and a potato pancake. Oh. Yeah. So again, all that stuff we make in house, even like the
Made me hungry, man. Yeah. I want to take a real quick sec to say thank you to our sponsors. So our sponsors are Neurodose. It's at neurodose.com. What they sell is 1P LSD. Comes in a liquid form. And what I usually use it for is a little bit of energy to get in a creative state. Lasts about 10 to 12 hours. So just to let you guys know, I would suggest to take it like first thing in the morning. Then they have their psilocybin pills. The way I describe that is a little bit of a sprint of creativity. So I use it whenever I'm programming for my clients, if I'm actually teaching a class or training some people. I also use it when I'm reading a book if I'm trying to get like in a deep flow state. So neurodose.ca, get off of 15, get you 15% off. I think you'll like it. Back to the podcast. Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the podcast. I just want to shout out to another one of our sponsors, HERCS Nutrition. They're located in East GWILLIMBURY. So they're a nutrition store that has a lot of protein, BCAAs, vitamins, greens, and pre-workouts. What I like about them is that they're always trying to change the game and get new products in. So they're always trying to learn and get new things in. I think you guys would appreciate it. Again, it's at East GWILLIMBURY. When you go in, say get off of 15, get 15% off. Other than that, enjoy the rest of the podcast. So when you're a pretty busy guy, obviously. So what do you like to do on your own time? Like especially with the food and everything like that. Like, is all that self-taught? Do you have a background in nutrition and stuff like that?
Like we didn't have a background in business at all. Like this was just, or like anything to do with like restaurants actually. So we just dove into it, and like I'm an architect major, and I did also urban regional planning. My business partner was in I think biomed. So like we taught everything. We just researched and taught everything ourselves. The great thing too is like the two of us, our interests lie in different things. So my business partner, he's very organized, and like he's really good with numbers. So more like the business side of things with the taxes and everything, like that's all him. When he talks to me about it, I'm like, you just do you, and I'll do what I do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you double down on that. That's good.
Yeah. So a lot of everything was like self-taught, and then in terms of nutrition and things like that, Ellen, she's a holistic nutritionist.
Oh, okay.
So when she was in school for it, I literally read her textbooks because like I just wanted to know. I was so curious, right? And and whenever I find a topic that I like, I just really like dive into it. And I think you were saying for yourself, like you go through like clinical studies and things like that.
Yeah,
right?
I'm the exact same as you. Like I love learning. Like I will stay up very late looking up research studies on like supplementation, nutrition, on training, different training protocols. Like I think honestly, I've said this a little, it's lame. It's really, you wouldn't think of it to be honest when you meet me, but like, I just think like life is like so fucking short to not learn as much as possible.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, I agree
so like,
with you.
and all my podcasts, like the podcasts I listen to are like obviously Joe Rogan and like somebody with a better set, like a business, somebody with mindset, somebody with health. It can range like so many different like variations for that. But that's pretty cool, man, that you're pretty like you self-taught and you want to learn like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's always important. Like you, I want to always be better.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I want to always like learn different, and just because knowing what I went through school for is completely different what I do now. All knowledge is transferable, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. There's got to be like some kind of bridge or some kind of different perspective that you can take, right? So the more I can absorb, the more I can be able to pivot on certain things.
And sometimes you can
right?
use that for something else.
Exactly.
And then that's, as you just said, like a bridge to learn something else, right? You just got to be open-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to, and it comes down to like prep shop. My vision for prep shop was getting into everything about fitness and wellness, right? We got food down like pretty good now.
Yeah.
Now it's really to figure out like, okay, what other avenues can we get into? So then it comes into like, I gotta keep learning and get inspired, essentially, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we were going back and forth for scheduling, you're telling me about this expo?
Yeah, that's right. So
let's talk about it a little bit.
yeah, so I'm part of an expo right now that's being put together. It's going to be on August 19th and 20th. We're called Uplift, and the whole point of it is to bring every single aspect of fitness and wellness together, right? So just like how what I want to do for Prep Shop is to get into a little bit of everything. Yeah. This whole Uplift is all about bringing every single modalities of fitness and wellness into under one roof for all the local business to network within each other, and also for you to showcase to audience as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're so looking for vendors. If anyone is interested, please reach out to me.
Hey,
right?
Who should they reach out? Like your personal page or the Prep Shop page?
Yeah, so you can either reach out to me on my personal page, or there's the Uplift Instagram page as well that you can just go and check out. And
is it an Instagram page called
There's an
Uplift?
Instagram page.
Okay, so we'll find it. We'll make sure we put it there.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. And then you're nice enough and sweet enough we're going to do a little bit of a giveaway.
That's right. So
you're going to help us out with, you said 10 meals?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Nice guy over here. So 10 meals. Make sure that you guys like both pages. Okay. Make sure that you comment and tag a friend. And if you want to get extra points, okay, repost it in the story. And we'll go from there. Okay, guys, I really appreciate you watching the podcast. Again, sorry, your handles for.
So our Prep Shop handle is prepshop_TO. My personal page is Ricky Lee 121, and Uplift.
Yeah. Okay, so if you guys are listening on Spotify, please make sure that you guys repost it. We're a growing channel. We're trying to do our best we can to reach as many people as possible. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, comment. Other than that, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Bye.
Thank you.